Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Darren, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Subtlety Rogue 4-piece PvP bonus. Why do I want to make a video on just the PvP bonus? Because I think it's kind of underrated, and a lot of people just don't understand what the bonus is all about. And it took me a while to figure out how to apply it, how to properly use it, and how to optimize it. It's an interesting PvP bonus. It has an interesting mechanic and an interesting buff, but it's so inconvenient at the same time that you can't really insert it into most situations for Subtlety Rogues. So in today's video I decided to make a video on its own on the 4-piece PvP bonus, the extra versatility you get by using Feint, and how would you apply it, if it's even useful or whatsoever. And I'm just going to try to make this video as objective as possible, so then you guys can decide in the very end whether you think it's worth using or not. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Let's get on to it. So when we take a look at the actual versatility buff, it pretty much gives you 7% extra damage and about 3% defense. So the amount of versatility it gives you is about 910. Which on its own, 7% extra damage doesn't sound like a lot. Neither does 3% extra healing, or 3% extra defense. So the ability on itself and the effect of the 4-piece bonus is kind of lacking if you look at it just on its own objectively. 7% extra damage, 3% extra defense. Even in a long run, if maybe you were a dot-based spec, having 7% extra damage might be fine, but on its own it's kind of garbage. Which is why we need to take a look at the trinkets and how everything goes together and functions together for Subtlety Rogues. So when we take the actual versatility buff and with me hitting a train dummy, you'll see the backstabs are hitting for about 8k with versatility up, and they're hitting for about 7,800 without versatility. So the difference to the damage isn't all that great, which is why a lot of people have said, maybe the versatility buff isn't all that nice. Maybe it's not just that much damage because it's only 7%. And yes, it's just in relativity, the ability itself is 20 energy for 5 seconds of 910 extra versatility. Is not that much that you can really make an impact with in our everyday basic rotation. That's why we gotta think outside the box on some of the other ways you can apply this ability and this 4-piece buff for Subtlety PvP. So the next thing I wanted to test, after testing the 4-piece bonus and how much versatility it gives, how much does the on-use trinket gives? The on-use trinket, the honor point one, gives a little bit over 1,000 once you're in PvP combat and once the item level is scaled. So it's just a little bit more potent than the 4-piece bonus Feint. Now, can we use this knowledge to our advantage? The 4-piece bonus gives us about as much versatility as an on-use trinket. Can we combine that with an on-use trinket? And that's where I got to thinking, is that how you're supposed to be using a 4-piece bonus? So then I did a little bit more testing afterwards. I decided to go and open up on a train dummy with Get My Slice and Dice Up, Feint, Cheap Shot, Rupture, Mark for Death, DFA, which is what I love to do in PvP, with an on-use trinket, and the damage was actually insane. I wanted to see afterwards how much versatility I have when I have the on-use trinket and versatility up within PvP. When you stack them together, you get 20% extra damage, the Feint and the trinket. Now it's a question of how can I line this up. So you can incorporate this in your opener. You get your Slice and Dice, Feint, and after you get Feint up, you need to Cheap Shot, Rupture, Mark for Death, DFA with your on-use trinket on as fast as possible in order to make sure you benefit from the extra versatility. And you end up doing 20% extra damage in the beginning, but you're kind of like racing against time when you do so. Alright, so in this opener it works with Death Throne buff. Can it work with other openers whatsoever? Which is something that I went to test afterwards. Can you use this with Shadow Dance? And Shadow Dance is an ability with the opener, requires a lot of energy, because you need to Cheap Shot, you need to throw ambushes in there, get a kidney, Mark for Death, Eviscerate. And if you try to incorporate a Feint in there for the extra versatility, it actually leaves you energy starved and kind of messes up your whole rotation. So that doesn't really work. So that's where the 4-piece bonus kind of has a negative impact on, is the Shadow Dance opener. So we have our extra versatility that we can use with an on-use trinket, but can we use this Feint extra ability on anything else? How can we incorporate it into our everyday rotation? So we can use it in an opener, and we can use it defensively every time we put up Feint, so that's been found out. But does it have any other usefulness outside of it? I tried to see if you can use Feint with a soft opener, but you end up using 20 energy, and you don't really have that much room to dish out damage, because with a soft opener, all you're doing is CC, so you can't really use Feint and the 4-piece bonus there. So I decided to do more testing. I just got myself angled at a dummy so I can backstab, and I decided to start building combo points. I got Rupture on my target, I got Slice and Dice on myself, and I tried to figure out, is there a normal rotation where you can use Feint? Can you use Feint in the opener when you're building combo points? I tried that, and that wasn't the best situation. It gave my backstabs a little bit extra of an edge, but wasn't as effective. should I build up 5 combo points, then feint, and then eviscerate my target? You can, but by the time you build up your 5 combo points with backstabs, and then you put up feint, and try to eviscerate, you're kind of energy starved, so if you get CC'd, you kind of lose all potential. The best method I found was to get about 2-3 combo points on your target, get some energy, feint, backstab, let Honor Among Thieves get you an extra combo point, and then eviscerate onto your target. This way you'll get some use out of your auto attacks, a backstab, and an eviscerate without potential extra feint damage. That's probably the best way to use it, and it should be only used with fine weakness. In conclusion, the 4-piece bonus for Subtlety is very interesting, but can it be applied in PvP? And for the rest of the video I have just a bunch of PvP moments of me trying to apply the fine weakness with my damage, whether it be in openers or whether it be within the rest of the damage. I guess it's alright if you're playing defensive, you know, get the extra versatility, you know, for 3% extra damage reduction, which is not a lot, but it's fine. But it's really hard to line up feint when you're trying to dish out damage. Especially difficult if you're burning through Shadow Dance, where every single bit of energy, every 10 energy, is just such a resource that you cannot even sacrifice 20 of it. And you're just trying to pump out as much damage and CC onto your target. So the only way I found this can work is if you're running DFA, and you're using an unused trinket in the opener. You can get a cheap shot rupturing target marked for the DFA, and you should still have your versatility buff by the time you slam down with the DFA. I feel like that's probably the best option I found for it, so I can see why people would forego the 4-piece bonus completely. It's an interesting one, but it's kind of difficult to line up. But if you guys have a better way to line it up, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed the rest of the video as I try to showcase you just how much damage you can deal with the versatility buff. Just be sure to watch out for my buffs, be sure to watch out for more rotation, and I'll try to make it as easy for you guys to see more rotation and buffs as possible. Hope you guys enjoyed, let me know what you think about the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
We could be